The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
With so many people living longer, the fear of outliving your money becomes a reality for many of us. Will I be a financial burden? Will I outlive my money? How will I be remembered? My name is Neil Himmelstein, president of Main Street Planning Group. Please contact me by visiting mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. I will introduce you to strategies that will guarantee you will not outlive your money, that can guarantee you will not be a burden on your loved ones. Through a collaborative approach, we will uncover solutions that offer tax-efficient strategies, lifetime income, and legacy planning, choice, organization, direction, and education. That is the code we stand behind. Contact mainstreetplanninggroup.com. That's mainstreetplanninggroup.com, or call 631-647-4694. And listen to me every Friday at 3 p.m. as I host the Main Street Code for Financial Success, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Main Street Code for your financial success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. If you ever want to reach me, you can reach me at 631-647-4694 or visit me at themainstreetcode.com. When we talk about our code, we talk about choice, organization, direction, and education regarding your finances. And we work with hundreds of accountants, attorneys, other financial professionals, and you in helping you with your plans. And we specialize in quarterbacking your insurance plans, whether it's life insurance, long-term care, disability. That's what we do, or fixed annuities. We are wholesalers, and we can also supply them directly to you. We are non-company specific. I don't charge for any consultations. We only make money from the sale of products, and there's never any obligation whatsoever. So we help lots of families out. Today, I wanted to say, if you would like to meet me live, there's a special event this Tuesday night with one of my favorite charities. It's going to be bringing awareness to Alzheimer's. It's going to be at the Huntington, where is it? It's at Huntington Theater. I'm doing this with Kona Law Firm and Long Island Alzheimer's and Dementia Center. There's going to be a movie screening of Ice Cream in the Cupboard, a movie by Pat Moffet. And for those of you who don't know who Pat Moffet is, Pat Moffet had a very successful business here on Long Island. He was like Businessman of the Year, and at the age of 53, his wife developed Alzheimer's. And he made a movie about it and about his trials and tribulations. And, you know, Alzheimer's is very near and dear to my heart because of my family situation and people that I know. And I'll go into that a little bit more. But he put a movie together about the challenges, the good and the bad, about Alzheimer's. And it's at Tuesday night, August 23rd, 5:30 to 8:30, no charge. Okay, there'll be mingling, there'll be pizza, there's light refreshments. There'll be a showing of the movie at 6 o'clock, and at 7:30, you'll get a chance to meet me and some other attorneys and other industry experts on the area of Alzheimer's. Again, there's no charge, but there is limited seating, and you need to pre-register. There's no walk-ins. If you'd like to register to come to this event, again, there'll be pizza, there'll be a movie, then there'll be a panel of experts, of attorneys, myself, that you can talk to maybe about your family experience. You can register by calling 631-390-5000. Tell them you heard, me, Neil Himmelstein, at the Main Street Code. Or you can email Shannon Quinn at SQUINN@conalaw.com. Again, this is Tuesday night, August 23rd, at 5:30. It's at the Cinema Arts Center, 423 Park Avenue, Huntington. I hope to see you there. Again, there's limited seating, so if you'd like to attend this event, you're welcome to come and see me. It's a public service announcement. Now, I mentioned before that Alzheimer's and the Long Island Alzheimer's and Dementia Center very near and dear to me as far as a charity that I contribute to, and I am going to be a sponsor and a panelist. Long-term care is a very serious issue. Alzheimer's and cognitive issues represent 51% of all claims. 51%. More than half of all claims of long-term care in the insurance world are due to cognitive issues, not physical issue, cognitive issues. And that number has been growing. And with COVID and everything else, it's grown even more. These statistics are about 2 years old. Some other interesting statistics. 57% of all claimants are over the age of 65, but that means 43% of the claimants are under 65. So long-term care is not just, I turned 65, I should plan. You should do your planning early, in your 40s, in your 50s. This is when many events happen. Now, when it comes to cognitive care, it's not a 2 or 3 year event. Typical Alzheimer's and cognitive issues last maybe for 14 years is the average, 14 years. And what happens is, and what happened in Pat Moffet, who put the movie together, is he had to become the caregiver for his wife and sell his business. So what happens when you become a caregiver? Caregivers, and God bless all the caregivers out there. I know my wife was a caregiver for her father who had Alzheimer's, as well as caring for our children when they were very young. Very difficult. Many women and many men become caregivers. As a matter of fact, there's a split, 50% male and 50% female of caregivers. And what happens to that caregiver? 46% negatively impacts the caregiver's health. And that's what happened to my mom. Okay? My dad, God bless him, did very well as a veterinarian, played tennis every day, and he had degenerative discs in his neck and back to a point where he was almost paralyzed. And my mom had to wheel him around in his 60s and 70s. He couldn't walk anymore. And that led to the deterioration of my mom's health to the point where my mom passed away well before my dad did, and she was 7 years younger, because of the stress of the caregiving put on her. Just the health aspects of taking care of somebody else can negatively impact you. 60% of all people who need long-term care assistance or are a caregiver to someone who needs it could be your father, could be your brother, could be your sister, could be your mother, could be a brother, 60% had to cut back on luxury expenses. 41% of all people that are in the caregiving, a caregiving for their mother, a caregiving for a parent, or caregiving for a sibling, or caregiving for someone else, 41% have depression because of this. 40% felt it negatively impacted their relationship with their spouse. 70% of caregivers did it out of necessity, that they had to do it. 61% of families help pay for the cost of home care. So if you're looking to retire and you're in your 50s and 60s and you're looking to retire and all of a sudden have to take care of mom or take care of dad, and you have to split your time and maybe cut back on your work and maybe not give the attention to your children that you'd like, you might also have to come up with money to help pay for care for your parent. That's a very real thing and a very big issue. 48% reduce the quality of life. 42% stop contributing to their own savings. 75% of people miss time from work. 46% have fewer hours. 35% had repeated absence from work. And 23% of the people taking care of somebody else were repeatedly late for work. Now, I know these are all numbers and this and that and this and that, but the main thing is that one of the things that can help you is planning for this eventual event. And one of the ways that's done is by insuring that. Now, much of the insurance that we're doing for that now is part of a life insurance plan and a long-term care plan. There are independent long-term care plans, and there are a lot of hybrid plans now that you can buy a life insurance plan with long-term care that can help prepare you for this situation, because it will happen to you. It happens to 70% of us. That 70% of us will need care. The other 30% of us will be taking care of that 70%. So it affects everybody. So you need a plan. You need a plan to protect yourself for long-term care events, and particularly for long-term cognitive events, which is why I'm so passionate about this Alzheimer's event. Again, this event is August 23rd at 423 Park Avenue in Huntington. I encourage you to come. There is limited seating. So if you want to reach out, call Sharon and Quinn at 631-390-5000. Mention that you heard it on this program, and she'll be sure to reserve a seat for you. There's no charge. I'd love to see you there, and I'd love you to talk about our show. This is Neil Himmelstein, and we're going to be back right after a minute. If you want to reach me, 631-647-4694. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back, everybody. If you were listening before the break, you could see me live on a panel with a law firm and other professionals after seeing a movie and having some pizza and a really nice event this Tuesday at August 23rd at 423 Park Avenue, Huntington at the Cinema Arts Center. It's a great event. I encourage you to come. If you would like to come, you do need to make reservations. You can call 631-390-5000. Mention my show and that you'd like to be a participant at the movie night event. Again, there's no charge, but it is limited seating. So if you'd like to have conversations with me and some attorneys and some other experts, it's movie night event, bringing awareness to Alzheimer's next week. Now, before the break, Alzheimer's is a big passion of mine because Alzheimer's and dementia are the leading causes of long-term care claims today. Over 50% of all claims are due to cognitive issues. It's not because I fell down the stairs. It's not because I have cancer. It's because me or my loved one or my parent or my brother or my sister needs help because they have a cognitive impairment. Now, cognitive impairments, if you're near somebody, you may not notice it because it doesn't one day you have Alzheimer's. It's kind of a gradual thing, but all of a sudden one day you're going to realize something is really wrong. Something is wrong, and you need to reach out to people and help you, but you also need to prepare for that eventual possibility. Because it's a real possibility. If you look at the numbers of people that have cognitive issues, like I said, 51% of all claims, but if you look at the number of people past age 80, it's staggering the percentage of people that their minds go, and maybe not their bodies, but the minds do go. We haven't found a way to keep our minds going till we're 120. We have found a way to keep our bodies going to 120. And it could be very dangerous if you know somebody who has a cognitive impairment. Many times people will get in the car and just keep driving, or go for a walk and keep walking barefoot aimlessly in the snow. I mean, just tremendous tragic things happen. My father-in-law, who was blind and had Alzheimer's, decided to go for a walk and landed in his pool. Luckily, he was a great swimmer and found his way out. He was oftentimes found wandering around the town. He's passed, but, aimlessly, not knowing how to get back. And it's a real problem and a real scary situation. So we talk about preparing people. Yes, there's some legal preparation you can do, but you don't want to do it too late. Buying long-term care insurance is one way of protecting you and protecting your assets and protecting you as a caregiver, that you can hire somebody to come in your house and take care of somebody. It allows you to have a fund of money so that you can hire somebody and keep them out of a nursing home, or eventually if you need a nursing home or assisted living, It can make it so that assisted living doesn't cost anything because you have a policy to cover you. And many of the policies today are what we call hybrid policies, that a lot of people buy them with life insurance. Now, I had a discussion this morning about life insurance with a CPA who reached out to me. And the way he talks about life insurance is he's using it as an income replacement for this couple that are getting ready to retire. So they each are going to have $3,000 in Social Security, but what if something happens to one of them? $3,000 a month is going to disappear. So he thinks of life insurance as an income replacement, which is exactly what it is. A lot of people think, oh, it's a lump sum. Oh, you're going to get $100,000. Oh, you're going to get $1 million. No, but that is to provide an income for your beneficiaries, whether it be your spouse or your children. That's one of the big purposes of buying a life insurance policy. Now they've combined long-term care with life insurance policies in many situations. So you have double duty dollars working for you. It's sort of like getting a stereo. And it's a hedge against needing long-term care, which will deplete your assets and take a big financial toll on your family, as well as a mental toll if you've listened to the beginning of the program. But it can also deplete your assets. So I'm going to buy this as a hedge. And in addition, if I don't need it, and I'm one of the lucky ones that don't need that, it's left behind as a replacement of the income that my family might need and or other resources to pay off my mortgage or something else. But I love the idea of it replacing my income. It will give me income if I need it because I can't work and I have long-term care needs, or, I need assistance around the house, physical or mental. But B, it will also take care of me if I pass away. So that's what these hybrid policies are. There are standalone long-term care policies, not as many as there used to be. And there are these hybrid policies, which is a combination of long-term care. And I talk about the hybrids for another reason, because it doesn't cost a lot more if you're paying for life insurance now to have this long-term care rider on a new policy. The old policies never had that. So it doesn't cost a lot more to have this combination effect. So you may be utilizing your dollars now. The big myth about long-term care insurance is it's expensive. Attorneys tell me all the time, oh, it's expensive. No, what's expensive is having to spend $500 a day for an assisted living facility or a nursing home. That's expensive. The long-term care policy, in retrospect, is not expensive whatsoever. The combination of providing it with your life insurance is reallocating some of your dollars to something that's a combination plan that's going to protect your family better. And that's all it is. It's not an expense. It's a reallocation. So I wanted to discuss that with you because I think it's really important that you understand there are ways of protecting your income, protecting your assets with life insurance and a long-term care plan, or a combination plan, what they call a hybrid type of plan, that can connect you to both. So this is very important in planning. I encourage you, even in your 40s, 50s, or even in your 60s or 70s, if you don't have a plan, that you need to make a plan. Now, part of the plan could be legal. Do I have my wills in order? Do I have my other stuff in order? That's very important. But in coordination, a long-term care or a life insurance plan with a long-term care rider is very important to add to that overall mix of a plan. And again, I encourage you to do that. One other topic that I wanted to bring up today, and we could talk about it later, but there's been a lot of commercials for if you have a life insurance plan and you're over the age of 65 and you don't need it anymore and you want to sell it, you can call this number and blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, that's called a life settlement. Okay. We do the life settlements, and usually someone will buy that policy from you if your health is impaired mostly. And it has to be a certain size and everything else. I don't recommend you calling that number. I recommend you calling us at Main Street Planning Group. Why? because they are not going to give you top dollar. What they're going to do is give you an offer, possibly if you're ill, and if it makes sense financially for them, they will buy that policy from you. So never just willingly get rid of your policy and do that. And anytime that you want to get rid of a policy when you're older, contact us, because it could create a taxable event if you surrender your policy. And that we talk a lot about, because all the earned gains that you have in that policy, if you surrender it, not only will you not have insurance, you may have a big tax bill as well. So that's something that you need to consider and talk to us. You're listening to the Main Street Code for Financial Success. I'm your host, Neil Himmelstein. If you have any questions whatsoever, call me at 631-647-4694 or reach me at themainstreetcode.com, where I have videos and everything else. No charge for advice. Talk to you anytime. And if you'd like to come to a great event, Monday night, movie night event about awareness of Alzheimer's, you can call 631-390-5000 to book your ticket. Thank you.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.